Hello everyone and welcome back to the Workbench. Today I want to do a video to talk a little bit about firearms training, so stick around. Firearms training, it's a novel idea. It's a great experience. It's a lot of fun. You can learn quite a bit. However, a very small percentage of firearm owners in America take formal firearm education or firearms training. Why is that? Well, a lot of it has to do with cost. It could also be that there isn't a firearm instructor near you that you trust or that you like. If that's the case, what are your alternatives? Well, instead of taking multiple classes throughout the course of the year, you could save up and go to one or two specific training courses that might be a little further away. But let's touch on that first point, cost. As you can see, I have a little assortment out here on the workbench for you today, and we'll get to what all this is here in a second. A good course is going to cost a little bit of money. The reason for that is because that instructor had to go through specific training to become an instructor. To become as good as they are, they had to go through many training courses. So it's not necessarily a source of income for them as much as it is a way to recoup what they've already paid to gain the knowledge that they have. What they are trying to do is then give back to the firearms community and give back the knowledge that they've acquired throughout the courses that they've taken. I have never left a shooting match or a class and thought, man, that was a waste of time. Usually when I leave, I'm thinking to myself or saying to somebody else who's with me, I would have loved to have done that all day long. I wish that course could have gone another 4 hours. I wish I could come back and do that again tomorrow. I have a good time when I do that because I learn so much, and every time I leave a situation that they put us in or a stage on a competition, I'm always thinking about, man, I wish I could have another run at that. I know I can do it better. It's that desire to want to train more. So now let's get into what I've got laid out here on the workbench. Before I touch anything, of course, everything is clear, and I'll show you as I pick up each firearm and explain what I want to talk about with each of them. Just looking at what I've got laid out, you'll see that these two firearms look very similar, almost identical in fact, and these two firearms, while they aren't similar looking, functionally they are almost completely identical. So let's get into the pistols first. This is a Smith & Wesson M&P 9. Of course it is clear, no magazine, no ammunition. This is a Smith & Wesson M&P 22 pistol. No ammunition, nothing in the magazine, nothing in the chamber. They look almost identical because that's how they were designed, with a few minor exceptions. The 22 has a manual safety, the 9mm does not. The 9mm has adjustable palm swells, interchangeable. The 22 does not. The trigger in the 9mm has been upgraded. The trigger in the 22 is stock. The sights functionally are identical. This is a 3-dot system. This is a more a front white dot and the rear U channel. But other than that, these firearms fit the hand identically. They feel the same. There's a little bit of difference in the weight. They fire, of course, different rounds, and they break down a little differently, but when you're shooting them, they feel the same, albeit different recoil. To show you what I mean, here is my holster for my Smith & Wesson M&P 9, one of my holsters. My paddle holster that's used for 3-gun and some IDPA. As you can see, it is just a retention holster, covers the trigger, fits very snug, it's not going to fall out, not going to go anywhere. So now, let's put the M&P 22 in here. Same exact thing. They are designed to be that way. So, let's say you bought the M&P 9 and you are really looking forward to shooting it, and there's a class coming up that you really want to take, but to shoot 30 cents a round out of a 9mm might be a little too rich for what you've got, and that's perfectly fine. If you own the M&P 22, you can do it for a third the cost. If it's 30 cents a round to shoot good quality ammunition out of this 9mm, you can shoot really good quality ammunition for about 10 cents a round out of your 22. So you're a third the price for the cost of the ammunition to shoot the course. Factor in the fact that it fits all of the same holsters, etc. I mean, that's savings right there. You don't have to buy separate gear. You can use the same gear that you use for your full size. So now that we've talked about the pistols, let's set those aside and go into the rifle. Here we have a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 rifle. This is the sport model. Here we have a Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. No forward assist, no dust cover. No forward assist, no dust cover. This is not a conversion kit rifle. The 1522 was designed specifically to be a platform that you can train with instead of shooting the more expensive .223 caliber ammunition out of the M&P 15. Functionally, these firearms are identical, even though they don't look alike. You can outfit this one to have the same optics and the same setup as its bigger brother, but again, you're shooting for about a third of the cost, with the ammunition being .22 caliber versus .223. Let's talk about magazines for these rifles. Standard P mag for the M&P 15 Sport, and the 25 round magazine for the .22 caliber rifle. Here's an AR-15 magazine holder for the belt. Of course, as you can see, it fits the P mags perfectly, and the 1522 magazines fit fairly snugly. They're not identical, but when put into this holder, they're going to fit the same. They're not going to fall out. You can run around with these and you'll be fine. Now, if you start going upside down on monkey bars or something, you might have a problem, but really and truly, the gear is going to work for both rifles. To have a .22 caliber that allows you to do that same level of training at half the cost of the ammunition is ideal. So if you choose to buy a full-size handgun or a rifle or whatever it might be, take a look out there. There might be something very similar in a .22 caliber version that you can then go train with. Yes, it's going to cost you a little bit more to buy a secondary firearm, but it's fun to have. It's also good if you want to take new shooters out. So to summarize this video, I guess really what I'm saying is get out there. Take a firearms training course. Take multiple firearm training courses. Maybe go and participate in an IDPA match or some sort of other shooting competition. 3-gun is ideal because you shoot all 3 different platforms. You shoot a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol. Knowledge is invaluable, so get as much of it while you can. Get out there, search for those courses, search for those instructors that you like and that you trust. Find the classes and partake in at least a couple a year. Shoot for one every 6 months, but if you can afford to do more, that's the way to do it. And with what we talked about today, maybe now you can afford to take one more course a year. So now I pose a question to you viewers. What do you think about firearms training? Have you taken any firearms training? What were your favorite courses that you took? Who were they taught by? Weigh in on this subject. That's what this community is here for. So thank you all very much for watching. I encourage you to leave any comments or questions below, and of course I will get back to you. But thank you all very much again for watching. I will talk to you all again very soon.